Welcome to today's webinar on the waste sorting game. The waste sorting game is designed to both educate and engage residents on proper waste disposal and recycling, and it does so in a truly fun and interactive way. I've played it myself, and in less than 5 minutes, I was reminded about which materials go in which bin in my city. So today we will explore everything you need to know about the waste sorting game add-on, from customization options to how easily it can be integrated into your program. And if you're already using the game, then we'll also show you how to unlock it to its fullest potential. Now let's introduce today's panelists first. Hello, my name is Annalisa, and I will be your moderator for the day. I've been with Routeware for about 3.5 years now, and it's my honor to be able to moderate these sessions for you all. And next up, I'm excited to introduce our speaker for today, Sarah Herszig. Sarah, I'll pass it over to you for a quick second so you can introduce yourself.
Sure. Thanks, Annalisa. I'm Sarah Herszig. I'm a customer success manager here at Routeware. I've been with the company for 4 years now. And before that, I was working directly in the waste industry. I worked for a municipality in Florida at their solid waste facility doing like education and outreach and actually used the ReCollect product. So been in the industry for a long time and really happy to bring the knowledge here to you all.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And finally, our last panelist is all of you. If you're joining us today, then this session is for you. We want this to be as interactive and as useful as possible, so make the most of your time today. You have the Q&A box to send any questions that you have throughout the session. Feel free to say hello or share your thoughts in the chat as well. So before we dive in, let's take a quick look at today's agenda. We already went over our housekeeping tips, and just as a reminder, you have the chat, you have the Q&A for all your questions, and you will be getting a recording of this within about 24 hours. And then right after this agenda, I will launch today's poll just to see where everyone is, where your experience is with the waste sorting game. And next, we will walk through what the waste sorting game is and why it's such a valuable tool. After that, we'll take a closer look at the metrics that you can gather from the game and how they can inform your outreach efforts. And then we'll also cover the customization options available to you to see how you can tailor the game to your community. And finally, we'll wrap things up with the Q&A. So be sure to drop your questions as we go. Sounds good? You should see a window pop up momentarily. I also have the questions right up here so you can view them beforehand. The first question is, do you have the waste sorting game? You have some yes and no options. The second question is, if yes, do you customize your waste sorting game? And you also have some options there to let us know how you customize it if you do. I'll go ahead and end the poll and I'll share the results. So for the first question, do you have the waste sorting game? It looks like the majority of us say yes, and we've had it for a year or more. So awesome, welcome back. Today we're going to learn all about it and any customizations that you might have missed and how to unlock it to its fullest potential. So we're really happy you're here. And then we have a few people that said no, but you're interested in getting it. So that's awesome. Hopefully this will give you all the information you need. And also no, but you're just curious. So that's excellent as well. We're very happy that we have a range of folks that are here with us. And then for the second question is, if yes, do you customize the waste sorting game? And let's see, a lot of us say that actually don't have the game currently. Ooh, some folks have not customized it. And if you're interested in learning how or your options, then you're in the right place. And then we have a few folks that say that they have been using the customization. So good, awesome. Thank you everyone for your participation. I'll go ahead and stop sharing. And at this moment, Sarah, feel free to take it away.
Thanks, Annalisa. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. As the agenda said, we're just going to start out simple. What is the waste sorting game and what does it do? So whatever your familiarity is with it, we can start there so we're all on the same page. So I'm going to share my screen and here we go. Can you see that okay?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. So what I have on here is just a web view of this County of Sacramento's tool. So I've got a few examples of like several different sorting games, but I just want to start out by showing you what it looks like. So ReCollect lives on your website. And then if you want to, it can also live in a mobile app and the game will be there as well. And it's just another tab that's added to your tool. And we can go over here and see the game. And then you have a link to go to the game. One of the things that's really cool about the game is that it actually has its own URL. So you can easily place it in other areas around your website or for any needs that you have. There's a URL to it. So we can click on it and you can see what it looks like. We'll go through the game. I have a demo shortened version so we can go all the way through it, but I want to show you a couple things about it. So when it starts off and you get the game, one thing that's really cool is you customize the look and feel of it. So this background image can match your community, and I'll show you some examples. Another cool thing about the game is that like everything in ReCollect, you have the option for some translation options. So you can have the tool play out in English, the standard, or other languages as well. And we have about 14 languages you can choose from to meet the needs of everyone in your community. So, you can see here that I can pick the game in another language and it can play out as well. And the game, like everything else in ReCollect, is also fully ADA compliant. So this can be used by all of your residents and users. I want to show you some other examples, like I mentioned. So here's the city of Denver. You can see they've got mountains in the background. We've got red rocks over here and different features of the city. Oh, that's Sacramento that I already had pulled up. This is a fun one. This is what we'll go through with the demo. I'm from Florida, so I love the beach theme. So this is a cool one from Collier County. And then here's another one from Nashville. So the game can really meet your needs and be customized there to look like your area. So I've put the game normally has 5 levels with 5 items each, but we're going to play a shortened version so that we can kind of go through and you can see what the game does. So a user comes in, plays the game, and there's 5 different levels, like I mentioned. Normally there'd be 5 options on each level, but we've shortened it to 2 here for this version. So there's different materials that pop up. It kind of randomizes, so it goes through different materials every time somebody plays the game. They get a little bit different experience. And you're also collecting data from this, which we'll touch on in the metrics. And there's some ways to adjust like how materials show up and like how frequently they appear on the tool, and we'll touch on that too. So the materials, the options for moving the materials meet your program. So this is another thing, like when you're setting up the game, you can customize like what these look like, what color the carts are, what options you have for disposing of materials in your area. All of this is customized to like what your city or company does. So for cardboard boxes, I'm going to guess that that goes in recycling. I get it right. Paper and envelopes, I'm going to take this and put it in bulky item collection. That's not right. So it'll get grayed out. And then they could keep putting it in other options and they'll slowly get grayed out if they get it wrong. Once they get it right, it goes through to kind of like a midterm point where you get little materials and you can kind of select what these are to add to a park. So I can add these fun things. And then I build this out throughout the game. We'll go through this. So recycling, here's some straws. I want to put those in garbage probably. Get another item for my, all right. Let's see what this one is. Drop-off center and fluorescent bulbs. Get another item. And all of these move around and have like fun interactive elements. We just got 2 more to go. So let's see what these are. And our last level. Okay. So we can add a reward to our park and then finish it out. And now this is another thing that you get at the end. There's a certificate of achievement that you can have, and it shows like what you correctly sorted. You can just hit done. You also have the option to print the certificates. So that can be really cool. You can run contests with the game through the certificate, have users kind of send the certificate to you. This can be really cool to bring in to schools as well. So this is a really cool feature, and people have the option to like print the certificate. So this can be really fun. You can do this with like outreach programs that you're doing. And this is one of the things I wanted to show you is this certificate. So once we have that, we can finish it, and the user also has the option to like share this out on social media, share their game, or they can play through it again. And like I said, those materials are changed every time. They're random, so somebody can play through as much as they want. And also, like I mentioned, this was a demo version with the 2 items per level, but normally you'll have 5 items per level. So they'll play through 25 materials to get through the game. So that's a really cool feature. Love this about the game. And I want to kind of see if we've had, all right, I'm not seeing any questions so far. Feel free to stick them in the chat if as I'm going through things, you have any questions on what you're seeing. But now we can talk a little bit about some of the fun stuff. So that's what the game is. And now, to avoid showing the metrics behind the scenes from some of our customers, I'm going to go through. We have like a Routeware City version that's had some use out of it, but I'm going to show you what the metrics look like. So the game can be really fun, and it can be great for, like I said, schools and outreach and things like that. But really, the game is amazing for the metrics that it brings in. The metrics that you can get from the game can do a lot to give you data that maybe you're not getting. So if you have like our waste wizard that tells people what to do with materials, you can figure out what people are looking for, what they don't know how to dispose of properly. But the game lets you identify what people think they know. So the cool thing with the game is that you have all of these materials, and here we are in the Recollect backend, and just under your metrics, you can go to the sorting game and you can see some really cool metrics. You can see how many gameplays you're getting, how long people are spending playing the game, how many people are completing the game, and then how many certificates are getting printed. And you can see that over time. And that's something that you can change. And this is true for any of your Recollect metrics. You can look at time periods. So if you run a contest or a campaign, or you're doing something where you're promoting the game more heavily, you can see what kind of engagement you got while you were putting out that promotion around it. And you can do that with any of your Recollect tools. But I could go back and pick a custom time range and see that maybe last month for a week, we did some advertising, we promoted it on social media, maybe we started presenting it more at outreach events, things like that. What kind of increased engagement did we get? And you can kind of see the changes over time and see what you're getting on specific days. I could go and look at the last 7 days. Hasn't been much on our Routeware City. Like I said, this isn't a real example from a customer. This is just like a demo game that we have available to us. But you can categorize that to take a look at what kind of metrics you're getting over time. So let's go back to all time so I can show you. Oh, let me refresh this. Okay. Hope I don't want. There we go, all time. So all of your metrics will change when you change the time period that you're viewing. So all of your materials and guesses and all of this information would change. It would show the time period that you're looking at. And like pro tip too, when you change the time period in Recollect, it will change it for all of your metrics, which is actually really handy because if you're trying to look at last month's metrics for your calendar and your waste wizard and your game, you don't have to go to each one and keep changing the time period. But just remember that if you go from one Recollect tool to another and you're like, why do these numbers look so low? Make sure that you double check your time period because that'll stay the same when you're clicking through metrics. So one of the things that's really cool with the game is you can see all of the different materials that are getting selected, how often they were getting guessed on. And then there's 2 pieces of information. There's what the correct stream is. So what's the way stream that it should have gone to versus the incorrect streams. So how frequently were people getting this wrong? And then when they were getting it wrong, where did they think it went? So this is really invaluable data that you can get on where people are getting confused. And then you can use this data to do promotion and outreach to kind of educate your user, your residents, your customers around what proper waste management is. And like you can target specific materials. So that's really helpful metrics to be able to get from this tool. And I think that that's one of the things that is really key about it. It's great to get the game and use it for fun and use it for outreach, but it's also really good. You're getting really valuable data from there that you can use to kind of lead you when you're looking for what do people can get confused about. Like I said, the Waste Wizard shows you what people know they don't know, and the game gives you data on what people don't know that they don't know, where they get confused. And the game is really good too, because when a user is doing it, they're just playing casually, which is what they're doing a lot of times when they go to dispose of material. Like, which bin are they going to toss something in when they go to get rid of something? You get that data through the game and you can see it. And one thing that's really cool is that you can update the stream. So if you have changes in your programs and maybe something used to go in the garbage and now it goes in the recycle bin or vice versa, you will see that reflected on here. So the data will be highlighted in red and let you know that there was a stream change recently. So you can see that where the data has changed, where this used to be incorrect, but now that's the correct location for a certain material. So it's really valuable that you can get that and you can go through and see all of your materials and where people are getting confused. Right. So those are the basics of the metrics. I see that we had one question. If an there's a question in the Q&A about if an item can go in more than one stream, and you do have the option to put multiple streams on the material. So you can give it multiple correct answers. All right. And did we have anything else? Oh, someone says they're not hearing anymore. Can you hear me okay, Annalisa?
I can hear you okay. Okay, David says that he can also hear. Says I can hear. Interesting. Marianne, have you maybe it's something with your headphones if you just plugged in headphones or just connected to Bluetooth. I know that's sometimes happens to me and the sound's coming out of my AirPods instead of the computer, so I don't know. Hopefully
Yeah, there
that
is an
works.
option if anybody has audio issues. There's a little caret next to the microphone on the bottom left of your screen, and you can choose your audio input and output. So that might help you there. And just in case anyone else encounters that issue.
Perfect.
So those are the basics of the metrics of the game. Really simple, all in one place, graphical, so that you can see what you need. And I want to talk a little bit about customizations for you. So the game does have ways that you can make changes to it, which is really helpful. So we'll go into the sorting game, and then you have the materials and the streams. So we'll go into the materials first. So this lists all of the materials that you have. When you get the sorting game, you have materials that you can be set up with. You'll have options to choose from which materials you want to include, and those will appear in your game. If you want to add new materials, it's not as simple as just going in and typing it in because there's an image that goes along with it. You can reach out to our team. You could reach out to support or your customer success manager or the customer success team and let them know that you want to add materials. We have a list of materials that you can choose from and you can put those into your game. And then if you do want something custom, like if there's a specific type of material or if there's a way that you accept materials that you need a certain graphic, we can do some work to add those on for you. So there's a cost to create the material for you, but we'll have our designers design it. We can get you a quote on what that would be, and then you can add new materials in the game. One of the ways that you can customize the game that's really cool is we do have some holiday materials. So around certain seasons, certain times of year, if you want to add things in like Christmas decorations or tinsel, Easter things, like different things that you might have throughout the year, we have some materials that are already available for you that you could add in seasonally to make the game a little bit more engaging, make it something different, and add those materials at specific times of year. So that's something that you have available to you. And we have some stock already that you can utilize. When you see them, there's a couple things that you can do to make updates to materials in the game. So one of the things is the difficulty level. So if you click on the green pencil icon, you'll see the image and you'll have the option for difficulty level. So the difficulty level is 1 through 3. And the lower the difficulty level, so if it's like a level 1, it will appear more frequently in the game. So even though it's listed as a difficulty level, and you don't want it to be too cumbersome for people that are interacting with the game. If they keep getting things wrong, that can be a challenge or maybe discourage them from completing the game. But if you have materials that you want to focus on more heavily or that you want more data on to see where people are putting it at, you can put those at a lower difficulty level and they will show up more frequently in the game. It's also a way that you can change things around so that the game is kind of dynamic and changing all the time. No matter what, it will cycle through the materials on a regular basis. It will never be the same game twice because it's going to change the materials that users see, but you can focus on different materials. If you put some of those holiday materials in, I'd recommend you do them at a lower level so that they show up, and that gets you some really good data and gives you a way to kind of like change the way things are appearing in the game. So that's something that you can do. You also have the ability to change the names of materials. So if you are looking at the game or you get some feedback and you feel like something isn't as clear as you'd like it to be, it's not what you would call that item. Maybe there's some local ways of saying things and you want to update it, you can just come in here and change the name of a material. So you can make that edit and update it. And that's something that you can do yourself. You don't have to go through our support team or anything. You can just come in and change the material name. You can also remove materials if you need to. You just delete them. Be careful that you're leaving enough materials in the game. You don't want to trim it down too much, but if there's something in there that you don't need anymore or you don't want that, it's easy to come in here and just remove the item from your list. So, and here we've got, in our example, 135 entries. That's great. Like I said, 25 materials play through in the game. So there's a lot of variety to be had here with that. And if you want to see what the images look like for specific materials, you can just hover over the image icon and see what they are. So if there's any changes that need to be made with that. All right, so we do have a couple questions here that are related to this, so I'm going to go ahead and answer them. Can you design and upload your own images? Generally, you're not able to do that. We need to have very specific requirements for the way that it works in the game, so we have our designers do it. You can give us very specific requirements for those images that we put in there, but I don't believe that you have the ability to upload any on your own. I haven't seen that happen before. Um, and then for seasonal images, if you needed to update the view of the game, that's something that we could do, but not on a seasonal basis. So if something changed, if major landmarks, or you needed to make an update to the game, that's something that we could explore with you. But that main image, that home image that you see, that's going to be consistent throughout the time that you have the game. So that's a static image that you won't be able to update seasonally. You can just make some of those changes, to the materials and things that are in there. And then let me see. All right. And then we had another question around that. So if you need to change the background, like if you've come up with a stock image and you want to get more custom on it, just reach out to your team and we can talk to you about that. But normally when we're creating the game with a customer, we'll, speak with them about that and kind of design the main background image to meet to match their city landscape. And then we had another question about the difficulty actually affecting when the item will show in the game. So it doesn't affect when it shows up in the game, it affects how frequently it shows up in the game. So selecting the difficulty, items with a lower difficulty appear more often than items with a higher difficulty. So, all right, I think that's questions for now. So I'm going to go to streams, which is the other thing that you can impact. So you do have the option from this window where I showed you here to edit the streams, but we're going to go straight to the streams page to see that. So what streams are in ReCollect is where materials are disposed of or taken for further processing, recycling, or donation to be used again, so or reuse. So you'll have all of your streams here. If you need to make edits, you can we can do that for you. So if you add a new stream, if you want another option, if you want to add donation as an option or something, that's something that we can work with you on. If you've had changes in your programs, then you can work with us to like make those updates. If you change the colors of your carts, if you add composting as an option, those are things that we can add to the game for you. And you can see like what that looks like here. So these are the different streams that you have. And then if you need to update which stream a material goes into, that's what you do on the material or on the materials page. So in this action item, the action button, so the pencil, the green pencil icon, you can see what streams the material goes into. You can also see it here. So you've got everything all laid out, your different pages and materials. If you want to show more than 20 entries at a time to just take a look at everything, I could do 200 entries that would show all 135 of my materials. I can scroll through and see what streams that they go in. And if I need to make any edits, I can just go to the pencil icon and move it over. So I could add another stream if it has multiple options. And I could also delete this stream and add a new stream. So if I needed to add, that this could go in the green cart, not that a plastic clamshell container probably would, but I can update that and add it, and then you just hit done, and now you've added the stream that it goes to, or you can delete the stream that it was in, and then I can just put blue cart back here where it goes in this instance and update it. And it's as simple as that. So those are some of the simplest ways that you can make updates and customizations to the game that you can go in and kind of like see what you're getting and what you're working with. And the game is one where because of the images that a lot of times you need to work with us, but we're happy to support you on making it a little bit more functional, doing things like updating those materials, adding in new materials for seasonality. We've got quite a list of things that you can add, pumpkins in the fall, things like that. We can update the images some for you so that you can just get new materials in there and make your game always like static and growing. The game is really useful to bring to outreach events that you're doing. I had someone mention that they used to do something where they have a QR code to the game and then share that with kids to take home with their parents so that they could play the game together. That's really fun. The game is dynamic on mobile. So if you have a mobile device or a tablet and it'll turn on landscape mode and you can play it easily on mobile devices. So if you're bringing something to an outreach event and you want to allow users to play it, you can do that. So that is all the basics of the game. It's pretty simple. And like I said, I think the number one thing that gets, overlooked with the game is those metrics. And I'd really encourage anyone that has the game to take a look at these if you haven't been doing a deeper dive in there, because like I said, it can be really fun, but there's also a lot of invaluable data that's in there that I think a lot of people overlook. And I've used this to leverage, and especially if you have the Waste Wizard too, use both to take a close look at where people are getting confused so that it can really help you fight contamination. Contamination, I know, is a big problem in a lot of our programs, and there's a lot you can do here to get where people are confused. Not just, batteries are a big one, batteries going in the recycle bin. So do people, you're getting batteries in the recycling, do they think that they should go in the trash instead? That's kind of the data that you can get here and see where people are getting hung up and where they're getting confused, and use that information to like help break down where you need to do more outreach. I'm gonna stop there though and kind of see what we've got in the chat and because we've got a few in the chat and the Q&A. So we'll see that.
All right. Thank you so much, Sarah. That was excellent. Yes, it looks like we have a flood of questions and interest, so this is great. Keep your questions coming. Let's see, Sarah, what haven't you already talked about? I think I see a question in the Q&A. How often are new materials added? Or how often can you add new materials?
So we have added new materials periodically, but we have quite a list that you can choose from, and it's really up to you if you want to add new materials. If you're choosing from the list that we have, then really, like I said, you can do it on a seasonal basis. We can bring new materials in. It's pretty simple to add them. You can put them for the season, and then you don't need our help to remove them. So once the season is over, if you add in specific holiday type materials, you can just go into the sorting game like I showed um, on ReCollect under the materials and just delete them once the season is over. So get engaged with us early for to get them in there on time for the season. But then when it's done, you can just remove them. It's really easy. And then if you need the custom ones, you can talk with us as well.
Very cool. Thank you. All right. I see a question from Sophie. If you have a multiple seasonal games, can the user choose the game they want to play, or is it just the ones that you make active?
So I'm a little bit confused with that question. I haven't seen someone with multiple versions of the game. Technically, you could do that. I believe you should be able to, you could have that, but I haven't seen someone with multiple versions. When we're talking about changing it for the seasons, it would just be adding in new materials to the game that you have. And for that seasonality, like putting in those relevant materials and then removing them after the season. So they go and play your standard game. It would just have new materials and be kind of new and fun. And it's something that you could highlight in outreach.
Oh, very cool. So it sounds like the items themselves can be changed seasonally. Like maybe you can add some Christmas trees or light bulbs or Christmas lights, string lights, things like that. But you can't really decorate the background very Christmassy or Thanksgiving-like or seasonally, right?
Right, right.
Very cool. No, that makes sense. Awesome. Thank you. Let's see. Ooh, what is the average setup time to get going and what is the cost?
So for cost, all that just depends on the Recollect products are generally based on your population size. But if you reach out to our team, just reach out to the customer success team or your customer success manager, and then we can get you engaged with our account executives to get you pricing and talk about all of that. As far as timeline, generally it's pretty quick to set these up. It just depends on how much time you have to engage to give feedback on some of the things that we're adding into the tool and what the current timeline at the moment is for our implementation team. But if it's something that you want to explore, just get in touch with us. We're happy to run like a more customized demo for you and get you all the specifics for what it would be like if you were to launch like right now or when you're looking at.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, we have another question from Allison. How many items are currently on the materials list to be chosen from?
I'm not sure what the current number is. It's around a couple hundred or so, I would say, but we can, help you out with what you're looking for. So if there's specific materials that you're looking for, we can provide you with that. Or if you want to see, what needs to be updated on your materials list, just reach out to us and we can speak with you. So we'll help walk you through the process, see what your options are, and, help you get your game a little bit more engaging or up to date for you.
Awesome, thank you. And Brianna, I see that you're having an issue contacting support. And if that ever happens, and again, our support email is support@routeware.com. If you're ever finding a delay in that, then you can also bump up those requests to CS team, and we're happy to help you out. There's also on your help center, and I'll announce this later, but you can also submit a ticket there and then see what's really cool about that is you can also see a list of all your active tickets and be able to see any of those statuses. And then we have another question. Let's see. Wason or Wasson says, can the game results be shared with a specific recipient by email?
So if it's like a user of the game, the best way for them to have their results is to just print that certificate at the end. If you're wanting to internally share the results, so you can give a user access if they need regular information on the metrics. Sorry. I have a hard time talking and doing things. You can export some of this data. There's a button for that, but I would recommend these screenshots or taking screenshots of this data is so helpful. So if you want to share this out in your organization to show like what the metrics are looking like, I'd pick a time period and just kind of share it out. So that's how I used to share metrics is just take screenshots of here because it presents really well if you need to get that information out.
Perfect, thank you. I have a question from Mandy. I think it's a repeat question. But the question is, can we design and upload our own images? Do you mind repeating that, please? And I think also I'm just curious, is it possible to design your own items as well, like the images for the items?
So you're not able to upload your own images for the game because they need to be very specific and kind of like match for what fits in the game. But we can help customize those for you. So you just reach out to the CS team or your direct customer success manager, and we can help you with that process. Support can also help with that. But we can engage our designers to design a material to fit the needs that you have. So if there's something specific, I've seen it come up a lot with materials or that needs to be specific about a material because of the way that you accept it, or if you just want new materials that aren't in the database that we already have for you, then we can have those designed on your behalf. But there's not a way to design and upload your own images due to the specifications for it.
Sounds good. You might have already mentioned this, but can certificates be emailed to a specific person?
So there's not a way to access the certificates themselves, like the individual certificates to email them. But if a user prints the certificate, they can just save it there. So, and I would recommend, if you get questions about it, encourage them to play it again and print out the certificate. So if somebody missed it, they can go back in and play a game and get that certificate, and you'll see what kind of engagement you're getting there.
Perfect, thank you. And if someone needs help about the game, what's the best way for them to get help? Or where did they go?
So the best place to get help with anything, if you have a question that's like, how do I do this, is to go to our support team. But there is also another option for you if you want to do some self-serve. Everybody has this awesome help center button at the top of ReCollect where you can go to our help center. I've got to open another tab because it'll just open my ticketing system. But if you go into the help center, you can click on the Recollect area, and we have specific product guides. And there's a whole section on the waste sorting game. So there's a user guide. There's a webinar that we've done in the past on it. You'll be able to find this webinar in the future on there. And there's also, if you check out our promotion toolbox, you'll find some really cool stuff around promoting with the game in there. You can see examples of what other people have done. If you look under the contest, you'll see contests around working with the game. The game is a great way to, run a contest, collect certificates at the end, give out prizes or recognition. So it's a really cool tool to kind of increase engagement around waste and recycling education. So that's a fun one, and you'll find a lot of resources here in our help center.
Thank you so much. I see one last question, but if anything comes up, definitely you have the chat, you have the Q&A. Feel free to drop in your questions. And let's see, the last question I have is if I'm interested in getting this game installed, what's the process? Where do I go? Where do I start? How do I get this game?
Yeah, sure. So if you don't have the game yet and you're interested in getting it, then you can reach out to your customer success manager or the customer success team, customer success at routeware.com, and just let them know you're interested. They'll connect you with one of our account executives, and they can get everything set up for you, go through the process, give you a demo of it so you can get your own kind of customized demo for your needs to take a look at what it can do and get you the pricing and the process for getting it all set up. But it's a pretty quick and easy thing to do.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you. And Brianna, I see your messages. We'll definitely connect online. We want you to get the help that you're looking for as quickly as possible. That's very important to us. Have your name. We'll definitely contact afterwards. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. Those are all the questions I see, but so I will then begin to conclude. But if there's anything else that pops in, no worries. We'll definitely follow up with you afterwards. Don't log off just yet. We have some exciting announcements that I don't want anyone to miss. And with that, thank you so, so, so much, Sarah, for your time and your attention today. It sounds like the waste sorting game looks very fun. It sounds like it's an interactive way to get your residents excited about recycling the right way, and it helps your operations by reducing contamination. So, if you're ready to level up your community recycling efforts, feel free to visit our help center and contact CS team at routeware.com in order to get started. So, thank you again, Sarah. We have two more community tools, otherwise known as ReCollect webinars, in store for you. So, definitely on October 22nd. If you want to learn more about the service request tool, we have a webinar lined up for you, and you can register now. And then at the end of the year, closer to the end of the year in November, we have a webinar for our UK friends. Of course, anyone here is welcome to hop on super, super early for this one too. Everyone is want to quickly shout out our premium experience packages. You can email csteam@routeware.com. This is for folks who would like faster response times and increased support hours. With premium experience packages, you will also get a dedicated customer success manager if you don't already have one, and we will pair you up with a CSM, customer success manager, who will work one-on-one with you to ensure you meet and exceed your strategic goals. You will also get one-on-one time with a Routeware technical account manager, a TAM for short. Our TAMs can provide tailored guidance and recommend solutions for each of your goals. So if you're interested, reach out to csteam@routeware.com. And speaking of your CSMs, including our very own Sarah today, these are the faces of our awesome customer success team. So if you have any questions or need anything escalated, then definitely reach out to csteam@routeware.com to get in touch and start strategizing. And next, we have a super huge announcement to share. If you haven't heard, this year we are thrilled to be hosting the 2025 Routeware Summit in Austin, Texas. Yeehaw! From Monday, October 27th through Wednesday, October 29th. So you don't want to miss it. Mark your calendars, register today. This event will be jam-packed with valuable sessions, network opportunities, and exciting product-specific updates. Registration is now open. We want you there with us to learn and to grow together. And I'll leave this link, the same link that you see in the chat right now. That is our link to our registration page. You can also scan the code right here to be taken to that page and sign up today. We really want to see you, and we're excited to have you. And even more exciting news, I want to quickly invite you all to join Routeware's new customer reference program. It's a light lift on your part, but comes with exciting perks. One of those perks is you can actually receive 2 free tickets to the Routeware Summit 2025, as well as an in-person QBR from your CSM and early access to focus groups. So in return, we may reach out occasionally for things like reference calls or marketing opportunities, no more than a few times a year. So if you're interested, just send us the name and the contact person for your point person, and we'll take it from there. So if you're interested, connect with us or with your CSM at csteam@routeware.com. And before we close out, just a quick reminder of the resources at your disposal. First, we have our webinar registration, and you have access to not just community tools webinars, you have access to all of the webinars for our entire product suite. You can register for any and all right now directly on your Help Center. And if you're wondering what's the link to my Help Center, I will also add that to the chat right now. And next is your Help Center itself. I know Sarah already mentioned it, but your Help Center, your one-stop shop for how-to guides and educational resources. In addition to the Help Center, webinar recordings are also available, giving you 24 access to support and learning materials right at your fingertips. You also have our support team on the line for you, and you can submit a ticket directly on the Help Center. You can actually click on that yellow Submit a Ticket button, and that's where you can also see the results or check the status of your tickets there as well. Lastly, as we close, you will see a quick survey pop up. I think you'd have to click on it, and feel free to jot down any of your thoughts or your topic ideas for next year. We genuinely value your input since these webinars are for you, and therefore we want them to be as impactful as possible. And as always, if you have any questions or need additional support, don't hesitate to reach out or visit us at the Help Center. And with that, thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much, Sarah, for your time and your knowledge today. See everyone at the next one, or better yet, see you all at the Routeware Summit in October. Thank you, everyone.